let's take a moment and learn a bit about a concept called nutation. Nutation is referring to the movement of the sacroiliac joint. So you may have heard of the sacroiliac joint. It is a very large joint that has very small amount of movement that's between the sacrum and the ilium of the hip bone, and it's right here. It's actually pretty big. There's just only a little bit of movement inside of there. If we look at it from the back, you can see that it comes right in through here, okay? And what happens at that joint when it's in a nutated state, the pelvis draws up and the sacrum draws forward and the sits bones widen, which allows the movement in there to bring the bones into perfect alignment where they fit snugly together. And that's called nutation. Nutation means to nod, so the sacrum is slightly nodding forward. The other direction is called counter nutation, and that's when the bones are going in the opposite direction. And as you can see, this doesn't line up quite as well. And oftentimes people who have a counter-nutated pelvis on one side, the other, or both, have a lot of pain in their SI joint. So taking the idea of neutral pelvis a bit further, we're going to call it nutated pelvis and focus on strengthening and stabilizing all the muscles around the pelvis and spine and legs to keep our sacrum up against our ilium snug and firmly, okay? The muscles that go ahead and do that are our abdominal muscles, which we're all very familiar with, okay? This blue is the rectus abdominis, and you can see it goes all the way up to your ribs, okay? This green is the internal obliques, and it runs from this side of your hip bone, your ilium, up on a diagonal. And then the external obliques run from the ribs and go all the way down in a diagonal. And they actually work, the internal, external obliques work in tandem to create a twist. So the internal obliques on this side and the external obliques on this side come together and twist the torso, the upper body this way and the lower body this way. Okay? And as we've talked about before, of course, the transversus abdominis is underneath all of that, and that helps to stabilize the lower back and expel breath. Okay? So the rectus abdominis is the most outer layer of abdominal muscles that we tend to work quite a bit when we stick our belly out and do crunches and things. And what we're trying to do is learn how to use the other three sets of abdominal muscles underneath the rectus abdominis so that we can strengthen those as well. In the back with nutation, it's very important that we use our hamstrings. Our hamstrings connect to our sits bones, okay, or our ischial tuberosities, and they draw down the back, connecting to the femur bone, and these three strands come across and connect on the opposite side of the knee, all right? So the hamstrings flex the knee, extend the hip, and they also help to stabilize the pelvis, okay? So you can see the hamstrings pull the pelvis down and back, and the abdominals pull the pelvis up in front. So that's going to bring the pelvis forward, and now to bring the sacrum in its knotted position forward, our back muscles are working. So the red is representing the multifidi, and the yellow and the green represent our longissimus and our iliocostalis, which are part of the erector spinae group. And they connect down here on the sacrum, and they help to pull the sacrum up and forward, kind of like this in a nodding action. So as we're practicing our nutation, we'll be pulling our belly up in front, our hamstrings down and back, and we'll be reaching our sacrum up and forward. So you can almost feel like these 2 points are coming together, the idea of belly to the back and back to the belly. Upside Down Pilates is conveniently located in the heart of downtown Honolulu. We offer solo, duet, and trio lessons, post-rehab conditioning, small group equipment and mat-based lessons, comprehensive teacher trainings, and anatomy and biomechanics classes. All of our teachers are comprehensively trained by Lisa Orrig and certified through the Pilates Method Alliance. Scheduling and payment is easily accessible at www.upsidedownpilates.com or call us toll-free at 1-888-751-6950.